Joe?
I have it at least. It's on the platform.
Well, it's on the platform, yes. Okay, so I don't think, if there's no amendment, I'll just go according to the agenda. Should I take it as agreed that this we should work according to this agenda with the 10 points? Okay.
Yes.
No need to be doing formally, somebody move, somebody seconds. We are all family here, but and it's being recorded, so we are good to go. Okay. Well, it's the first item is opening. Well, my opening comments will welcome everybody to today's meeting. Dr. Joe, you are most welcome. I'm pleased you're able to join us. I was told you are in Miami.
He says he might not be able to speak, but
okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll go with this. So I think today's meeting is really very, very important, and I'm quite pleased we are all here. But we have to take very important decisions on the way forward concerning the Ijesha hub. The next item is the minutes of last meeting. I was asking, but the minutes of last meeting circulated. I was trying to go through the platform. Dr. Aloke, can you confirm that, whether we have the last minutes of the last meeting?
I'm searching now.
What I have is the minutes of the meeting you held, but it's not of the ESCO.
Okay. Well, we would, Dr. Joe seems to have left. I'm sure he'll be now. So once he's done, we can ask him for that. Because I recall that, if I remember, I think we have a minute, but I can check.
Okay.
If I find it, I will share with us on the platform.
In the meantime, but let's move along. The next item is progress report by Dr. Cornelius. Maybe we should just go ahead. Dr. Cornelius Adiwali, I think you've also circulated the report to us. Maybe just take us through your report.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me. We just maybe go straight to the report that was circulated, although there is a little bit an addendum to it. The first component is the admission process. We began the shortlisting, and so far we have about 107 candidates that are being considered for admission. Out of the 107, about 71 of them were based on merit, based on the criteria that we set out. One of the criteria was access to laptop or to a computer systems that we consider very critical for them to be very successful. So we have another 36 candidates that were being given provisional admission based on if they're able to prove access to system or commitment to be at the hub regularly for them to be able to access computer for their work. And in terms of spread as well, we could see that the candidates, they are spread across all the 6 local government area of Ijesha land. In total, let me briefly actually share that. In total, for cybersecurity, we have 42 people admitted. 6 of them are from Atakumosha West, 3 are from Atakumosha East, 11 from Ilesha East, 6 from Ilesha West, 11 from Oriade, 5 from Obokun. And in terms of gender as well, for the cybersecurity program, 36 are male and 6 are female. We see the same trend as well with the UI/UX training program, where we have 24 people admitted in total. 2 are from Atakumosha West, 2 are from Atakumosha East, 5 are from Ilesha East, 3 from Ilesha West, 10 from Oriade, and 2 from Obokun, making a total of 24. Male, we have 21 male and just 3 female. for the UI UX program. And for the machine learning, 3 from Atakumasha East, we have 0 from Atakumasha West, 9 from Elisha East, 8 from Elisha West, 14 from Uriade, 7 from Obokun, making a total of 41 candidates admitted for the machine learning program. Out of the 41, 10 of them are female, while 31 are male. So in terms of spread, we could see that there's more participation from Uriade, and I believe that's also because of a lot of more promotion in that area, and because of the location of the hub as well. I believe that's one of the major reasons. But at least we have quite a representation across the entire Ijesha land. The second thing on the progress reports and the update is the infrastructure development. We've had a lot of delay, a little bit in the implementation of this, but so far right now we have the partitioning ongoing. The partitioning is about 85% completed now, and it should be fully completed latest by Tuesday. The electrical work is about 95% completed. What is left is just the generator component, and because we still have an item as well in our conversation, that's one major area on the generator component. So as far as the infrastructure is concerned, those 2 major things were near completion then. The other areas are very critical infrastructure enhancement. Things that are very, for instance, we are doing partitioning, painting the place, improving the ambience, things like window blind, things like wallpaper that basically make the place like an innovation center that we want it to be. Those are other major infrastructural developments that I'm hoping we could have decision on in this board meeting today. The third major update have to do with the equipment procurement. We've traveled to Lagos in order to get the projector materials, so we've got the projector materials. Those are one of the most difficult things to get because of their size and uniqueness. So we're able to get them to the center. We have a projector board. We have 110 inches screen. We also have 110 inches interactive board. And also all the connecting equipment gadgets that are very important for the projection for the lecture in the class. The other equipment is the computer. I believe one of the major conversations that we could have decision on today is the current state of things as far as cost is concerned. Initially, we budgeted about 1.8 million for the procurement of 3 computers. Based on information we are having right now, there is increase to about 2.6 million for those 3 computers. So that might be one area also where we could have decision made today. The other part of equipment is aeration. Things like fans and air conditioning. The decision here, it's on, we could have just fans, in which case we could have 6, we need 6 different units. The way the hub is designed, we have a conference room partitioned out, and then we have 3 different workstations that are going to be branded differently. Each of those workstations have the potential to become a classroom of their own in the future. So the idea is having 1 fan in each of those workstations. And then we also have the admin office. Have 1 fan in the admin office, and then 2 fans in the conference room. So if we are going all fans, that would be 6 units. However, if we are putting in air conditioning, we will need one in the office and then one in the conference room, with 1.5 horsepower in the conference room, and then 1 horsepower in the office. The total cost of the air conditioning, it's about 440,000. For the fan as well, we have options. We can go the high end for ORL and or Hawks, which are coming to about 75,000. So that's why the estimated cost for the aeration could range something between 210,000 and 665,000, depending on what our vision looks like for the hub, and as well as the bottom line in terms of the cost as well. So that's why I have that very huge range in terms of what the improvement of the aeration could look like. The other component is also the ambience and branding. There are about 5 different items that are put together on this. That includes the painting. We have invoice for, we brought 2 different people for the painting of the conference room, and also using the same paint that is there right now, so that it doesn't cost much. The budget between the 2 of them is between 210 and 225,000 for the painting. We also want to have wallpapers for the designing of different workstations. We want to have banners in a way that can be brand different components of it. The window blind. There are about 45 windows in the entire place. However, if we're looking at just the workstations and the conference room, it comes to about 20 windows. So if we are going with a little bit medium office window blinds, each unit is around between 25 and 30,000. But we're thinking of just using simple clothes that we could have someone made, but just good color that relates well with whatever painting level we are using as well. So with that, together with water dispenser as well, that puts that total cost around 561,000 for all of those items. I have another document that actually highlights each of these items cost in terms of their details as well. The other components of the equipment that might also be very important also for decision making is the admin. That's for the executive director and also for the admin officer. So that's chairs and tables. So what we have currently are chairs and tables for the student, for the candidate. We've looked at if we're able to, for just the chairs, just 2 chairs, their cost, we've got a number of invoices on this, come to about 140,000. The tables, I know we've had a conversation before on possibility of some donation of unused tables. So that's also a point for decision on that. The 4th items on my update is the internet connectivity. The cost on internet connectivity are divided into 2. The internet infrastructure itself, and the plan is just to buy the MTN. And we also want to have booster in a way that the internet connectivity can be around the entire place. And then a budget for at least 4 months of we are planning for about 100 gig per week. Sometimes we use this up to this, sometimes we won't even use up to that. We're just going, let's say we're looking at the budget from the high-end component. That put that about 72,000 naira per month for the internet connectivity. The total cost on that internet connectivity, it's coming to about 452,000 with the infrastructure that we need to buy upfront, and also a provision for 4 months of internet connectivity across the hub. The 5th component of the update, which is also a point that we could discuss and also make a decision on, is the power backup systems. We have two different possibility on this. What we've discussed before is generator. One of the things we've worried about is the need for us to be able to buy another kind of what's the name for the storage, in a way, if we are going with computer system, if the light is gone before we on the generator thing. So that's an extra cost on I'm forgetting the name of the equipment we use in Nigeria to keep computer running.
UPS or
UPS, thank you, sir. So we have to invest in the UPS if we're using generator. We also have to invest also in the fuel that we have to make provision for consistently over that period of time. The alternative that have been brought up as well is having an inverter system, a battery inverter systems that can power all our equipment over a period of time, but they are more expensive. So we have the option of a 7.5 kVA, which would cost about 1.6 million, or option of 3.5 kVA, which costs also as much as about 1.2 million. But currently, we have an invoice for just about 650,000 naira for a 12.5 kVA generator. So that's something that we could discuss in terms of, okay, looking at our budget, looking at where we are, and also have a final decision on that. The last thing on my report is the formal launching of the center, which we are proposing for January 3rd, 2024. We also want to initiate a social media and marketing plan, a 30-day sort of a countdown that actually create a high level of engagement within the community about the hub, starting from December 8th, continue until the date on the launching date. We want to have a formal invitations to be able to bring people in. Even in between that also, we also want to have a 3-day orientation program for the shortlisted candidates and have a number of job preparedness training, entrepreneurship training, all leading to the actual kickstarting of the class in January 8, 2024. So these are my brief different six points that I wanted to bring to the board for conversation and decision or confirmation as we move towards launching the Idesha Digital Hub. Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it, and I will be happy to answer any question on any of these issues.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Adewale. Thank you very much for that comprehensive report. Maybe what we'll just do, 5 major items we have here: the admission, infrastructure development, equipment, power, and the formal launch. So we'll just take each item one by one. So let's start with comments or contribution on the issue of admission. He has told us the total number of candidates that they have 107. 71 were based on merit, and additional 36 on standby. Do we have contributions and comments? We also have the spread across the 6 local governments that has been circulated. Contributions on the issue of the admission and what has been proposed. Salary, come on, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I believe that's a very good good spread, both in female and male, and also all over the FGAs. I think a great job has been done. And this, for starters, this is the first cohort. As we go along the line, we learn more, and then we can improve on it. And the publicity will give us more candidates for the second cohort. But great job. I'd like to thank Dr. Adewale for volunteering. We haven't had time to congratulate you. Great job. Thank you so much. And good job so far. Thank you, my chairman.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Any additional comments?
Mr. Chairman, just a second.
Dr. Lunga, go ahead.
Yes, you will notice that the Takumasa East and West had fairly low show, but we did make efforts on both the IDC website, on social media. We reached out to some KBACs, like the KBAC of Efewara, and so we made effort in terms of to get more people from Takumasa East and West. It's just that we didn't have much luck. It isn't for lack of trial that we didn't get that many, but we really reached out both on social media and Facebook and through IDC and connecting with leaders in those communities. We just didn't have that many people sure. Just to clarify that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other contribution? Okay, I have some few comments, just looking at the numbers. 71 were based on merit, 25 for cybersecurity, 26 for machine learning, and 4 for UI UX design. Now, the 36 we have on standby, they still have to give us proof of computer access and a commitment. What if they don't make it? What will be our decision? The question is, what is the minimum size for each class that will make it viable? Because what I wonder is, I would have thought that no matter what, the UI UX design is one that seems to have very low enrollment. So 4 on merit and only about 4. Additional 4, that's about 8. What is the minimum number you need for that course for it to be viable? I'm just curious. Because we have 8 in total. Dr. Adewale. Yeah.
It's the UI US is 24, not 8.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your printout, 25, 26, 4. Okay, so you have 4 in your printout. Sorry,
that must be that.
Okay, there's a 2 missing. Okay. In the report you submitted,
it's 24. So.
You have 4. Okay, that's fine. Okay,
we have 4 on provisional admission.
No, don't worry. It has cleared up the issue. You have 4 in your printer instead of 24. So I was reading from your system. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I think we're all agreeable with this. But the question is, what's the minimum number? Remember, this course is free. So I worry about just taking on people that might not have the proof of computer access or the commitment. But when something is free, how do we ensure that the commitment is also total? Or should we just stick with the initial numbers that you have picked, which is the 71, that you are pretty well sure about their commitment and they meet the standard? What do the board members think? So this additional 36, for which I'm not sure about their commitment, and it's a free program.
I am comfortable with 71. For a program we are just starting, the first cohort for me is even very large at 71. But if you're able to cope with it, that's good. You start small, then rapidly increase so that we can learn quite a lot of things as we go along the line. So even if we just that 71 or up to 75, I think that's more than good enough. I'm still going to ask a question about the resources for the faculty. Do we have enough people to take these programs? And the larger the class set, the more difficult it is for you to have a good program. So 71 to 75 is just okay for me. If you can drop the other 30 something, why not? Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Longi, I know you've been having some thoughts around this. I mean, what is the why 106? Because if you have 71, to me, it's a good number for a free course. This additional 36, I worry.
Thank you, sir, for that comment. Again, our focus is on those students who have the equipment, who have the commitments, who show that they are committed. So that is really our focus. The idea of a back hub was a lot of this program will be delivered virtually. And we are not expecting all of them to be on site. I've asked Dr. Adewale to do a survey for us to know exactly how many of those students who have been admitted will be coming in to the location remember that we have we have both synchronous and asynchronous. We will have virtual delivery of instruction. For instance, cybersecurity will be totally online. They will only come in towards the end for what they call, I know there's a word they use either for a cyber party or something. So it will be virtual. And that is true also for UI, UX, and also for AI and machine learning in terms of delivery modality. It will be mostly virtual, but there will be when it will be coming in, to take instruction. So with that, if those students, it's not all of them, some of them are qualified. It's not they're not qualified. They meet the criteria in terms of scoring. I will let Dr. Ibera explain more. But a lot of them is because they don't have computers. And we had discussed at one time that once we have the number of students who are qualifying, those who are good candidates, but the limiting factor is they don't have computer, that we might reach out to the IDC to see if they will be sponsors. And there will not be one-on-one, it won't be just blanket. Chairman has said that those who want to join this program, if they really want to, they will go out and find their own sponsors. So we can give them an avenue to get people to sponsor them. But our focus are on the core students who have been admitted. Those who are on waiting list, who meet the criteria, that's the key there. And Dr. Adewale can explain that. Some of them met the criteria in terms of their scoring because they actually use metrics to score who gets in. There's some of them who score very highly, but their issue there is computer. We don't want to be limited factors. We want to give them a chance. If they can their own search for computer, or if you can help them get sponsored within the IDC framework, that is why we have those backup. Dr. Adewale, do you have any other thing to add to that? But that's my understanding in terms of those backup students. It's not that they are not qualified, because I think we have like 200 and over 200.
Yes,
go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Go ahead,
so, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. The 36 people that are on provisional admission, they are people that meet most of our criteria except one, which is the access to computer system. The way we designed the scoring system, we gave 10 points for having access to computer. So it's either you score 10 or you score 0. So those 36 people are people that will have met the cutoff mark if they actually have access to computer, and which is why we made it provisional admission. But I agree with previous contribution as well in terms of the number. Starting small, it's always better. Give us opportunity to learn as much as possible and correct any mistakes as we move on. But they still have one more hurdle to cross. So it's one thing for us to admit, it's another thing for them to really accept and meet our criteria. For instance, for them to be fully accepted, there are things we still want them to submit. We still want them to submit a 1-minute video and so many things like that. I don't think all of them, because it's been a while, the situation have changed for a number of people. I'm not really expecting 107 people to be the final figure that will be admitted. I'm guessing the final number is going to look somewhere around that 70 to 75 as well. Because commitment is very important for the success of this very first cohort. And if they don't follow all those rules even before the class starts, then that means they've not shown commitment and they might not be eventually admitted. So I agree with that sentiment in terms of starting small. And that number is what I'm actually seeing as more realistic number. of what the final figure might look like.
Okay, thank you. For the purpose of the board, what is our target number? So are we going to limit ourselves around that 71 to 75 as earlier suggested? That's 25 per class. So that from your 107, you'll get 75. Now, I ask that question, what's the minimum that will make each course viable? You are not sure all those who've been admission to will eventually turn up anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in terms of that minimum viability, 20 seems
okay.
Yeah, 20 is the number to really make the class viable and worth doing as well for our facilitators.
Okay. Any other contribution on this? If not, I'll just surprise to say that we are going for at least about 25 per class, minimum of 20, so we can close up on this. Okay. Okay.
Before I
that
we have invited the domain leaders. I thought I saw him. Okay, Mr. Femi Bakari, who is the leader for the UI UX design.
Okay.
Ebenezer Ajayi, who is the leader for AI machine learning. For some reason, Obadare is not with us. Just for them, since they are the one leading, because Salade Common has a very good question in terms of instructors. Maybe that's the reason we brought them here, just to be here for a little while before we go into executive meeting, for them to come in and give us some issues. One issue of curriculum, scope, and sequence. They had asked for 2 weeks, want to give us update on where they are as far as that is concerned, because you don't have a program, you don't have a curriculum. So that's why they were brought here to commit to the executive board. If you have any questions, if they have any needs from the board to help them, that's why they have been asked to join us. So Mr. Bakari and Mr. Ajayi, if you can, Chairman, with your permission, if they can answer the question that was asked by Salade Komo in terms of their instructors, what they have, and also the commitment in terms of giving us those scope and sequence on a timely basis so that we can know that we have the curriculum to deliver the instruction. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So let's go ahead. Mr. Ajayi, maybe you go first. What's your reaction?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. For the manpower to deliver the syllabus, we have them on ground, and we have been working together. We thought that the program is going to start earlier than this, but since the program has been moved to January, so we too are still fine-tuning a lot of things to make sure that we're really ready for the program. But by and large, the instructor, they're on ground for this work. And we've already discussed on how to do it. We said like 60% online, 40% on ground. We are going to come around, most of the instructors are going to come around at least once in a month, or once in a month. That's the arrangement, once in a month, to give a delivery in the up there, and then continue with the other aspects online. So by and large, we have 6 instructors for these tasks, and because we have about 6 modules to be handled. So, and each of the modules have their own instructor to take care of it. And also, if you permit me to share my screen, I will quickly just display to us the modules that we have, the curriculum, so that you can know that the machine learning are ready for this work. I don't know, can you see my screen, please? Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can go ahead.
Okay, sir. This is the curriculum for the machine learning. We have 6 modules. The first module is explanatory data analysis for machine learning. We have supervised machine learning, which has to talk about regression. We have supervised learning talked about classification. We have unsupervised machine learning. Then we have deep learning and reinforcement learning and machine learning capsule. These are the 6 modules that will lead to a certification in IBM Machine Learning Professional Certificates. And if I digress a little, sorry, sir. So it has been structured in a module, in a weekly modular, so that we can know what we're going to take for the first week, what we're going to take for the second week, third week, and fourth week. Both the theory part and the practical aspect of it, the quiz and every other thing they needed to do that will earn them that certificate. We have already prepared it on this curriculum. So altogether, we have about 18. We have about 18 weeks altogether, which we are going to accommodate within the 3 months. So this is the curriculum for now. And then we've started, because in our last meeting, they asked us to prepare a PowerPoint representation, a PowerPoint document for lecture delivery. Though most of the tutors, they have been engaged in one or things or the other, but we are able to come up with a few ones. So we are still working. So I will permit me also to share for the module 1. Can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
we are saying.
Hello, sir. So this is the story. Let me stop this.
Well,
Let me now show the PowerPoint stuff. Okay. So for the exploratory for machine learning, so we started developing our lecture slide. So we have them, what we want to take in the first module. There are about 5 things to be taken care in 5 modules. In the first module, which is definition of artificial intelligence, brief history, retrieving and data cleansing, exploratory data analysis and feature engineering, and the last one is inferential statistics and hypothesis testing. So we have been trying to come up with our lecture notes one after the other. Here we have the objective learning, learning objective and things like that. So we believe before the starting of the program, all the lecture notes will have been ready. And as soon as we are finishing with any of the modules, we are going to be pushing into the executive director for him to be uploading it on our MLS for the students. So we are working to see that we're able to meet up with the time of for the commencement of the program. So that's where we have for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Salade Gomo, any reaction before we go to right, sir.
I believe it's a very good one. One is comforted. But Mr. Ebenezer Ajayi, how many people do you have with you handling this?
We are about 6 in number.
6 in number, okay. Without the apologies, of course, they all have the experience and expertise for the children, and they're also willing to come back home. I assume that you are not in Nigeria, right? Or are you?
I'm in Nigeria now.
Oh, you're in Nigeria, okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
They're able to come to Iloko once in a while for that physical part of it. You said 40% of it will be
40% appearance and 60% online.
All right.
Like somebody like me, I can make it every week because I'm a bit closer to Iloko now. So For me to be there is not an issue because our tutors, we pick them rank from every, like I pick one from Kebbi State, so it can only come once. So
Okay.
others, I pick some from Futa. Then there's another one in South Korea. That one cannot come. It can only discuss. It can only deliver online. So that's where we are scattered around the globe. But nevertheless, people that is available will definitely come down to a local education for delivery. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me just ask, along the line, I saw a Microsoft bill of $240 something.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you kindly explain?
Okay, let me take it back again. Hello there, please. I'll call you back. I'm in a meeting. Please. Yeah, I'll call you back, please. So that's the certification fee for the total module. 294,000 USD. 294 USD, sorry.
Okay, is this per person up for the entire
modules?
For
a person, right?
Sir? That's the total cost for all the certification. Because each of these modules has their own certification. Like exploratory data analysis for machine learning is a module that comes with a certificate. Supervised machine learning comes with a certificate. Supervised machine learning classification comes with a certificate. So in total, they're going to get 6 certificates.
So we are paying 294
yes,
per person.
Yes, per the entire course. That is IBM machine learning professional certificates. So any student that comes into this machine learning is going to have 6 certification.
Okay.
And the total cost for
that per person. So for each person, we need that amount, right, per student.
Yes.
So 24 for each of our trainees. That's the question he's asking.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And is this part of our budget? Dr. Adewale?
So I think that's also one of the points that we discussed. What we discussed about the certification is the possibility of creating a scholarship for people that will qualify for the certification. So initially we've talked about sponsorship, having sponsors, but the certification right now is not part of our budget with the fund that we have in place.
Okay. That can suddenly become a game changer if not.
Sir,
yes, sir.
What we were looking at was to use this FSTC model, whereby we do first to appeal to prominent people from the local government where these people come from for sponsorship of the certification, because really the way it is that people, I mean, there's no point learning without certification, because it's the certification that will give you opportunity to work. So, but we are looking at the possibility that, okay, because the numbers we are thinking about for in this our own case is not much, and it's one of certification exam, we are hoping that, you know, we will be able to get sponsors for them from their various local governments.
Okay. If I understand Kozeria a little bit, this money has to be paid from day one. So you are looking at generating 20 million approximately. Dr. Ajayi, would that be right? Or when are you supposed to pay it?
Is at the end of the program, sir. That's the time we are paying. Like now, even for me, I'm just using Coursera to present to prepare some of the courses now, some of the lectures, something. So what I just did is I didn't go straight for registration. I skipped that area, which give me opportunity to have access to all their documents. So at the end of the whole training, you now think of how to pay for certification and things like that. So it's not compulsory we pay at the beginning of the lecture. Since we have all the content, we have everything, we have their quizzes, we have their lab questions and things like that. So we can just train them and then prepare them for the certification. We can now take the certification exam. That's the way we would think we should go by it.
Okay. All right, I understand this. But for members, I'll just say 3 months is a short period. So if you're going to be paying this for unless that's the average for the 70 to 75 people, you might as well put out the arts for collection so that we raise almost like 20-25 million naira. Because it's going to become an issue if those kids should finish this program in 90 days, which I used to think that time is far, but these days, 3 months is almost like
you're right. The older you get, the more the day fronts.
Actually, I just even come up with the calculation of the whole certification now. For 74 people is about 22 million naira. Yes. I never think of that before.
And the time don't on us like tomorrow.
For your own cost, it's 7.8 million that will require. That's 8 million. Okay, like I said, maybe we'll take this issue of funding much later. So let's just go through the technical things now. Then we'll discuss this funding model after they've left and we're down to executive session.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bakari. Thank you, Mr. Ajayi.
Thank
you,
sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ajayi.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Bakari. Thank you. You're welcome. Good evening.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Mr. Bakari.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yes,
Loud and clear.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good evening once again. So from the UI UX, we have our course content already. It's been provisioned. Please hold on. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So it's been done for the whole period of the 3 months training, right? And we have the basics from the introduction to the understanding of UI UX broken down into weeks. We have in a week we're going to be having 2 classes based on the time available for the tutors, which will be Saturday and Sunday. Okay, we would be also taking up the whole 24 students, which is acceptable for us. There are currently 3 tutors, including myself, and we intend doing them on a monthly basis. So a tutor will take month 1, another tutor will take month 2, and the last person will take month 3. We're like 98% done in terms of a proper course content structure, such that anyone or there's a flow into how we are taking the classes. So if tutor one starts or stops somewhere, it's easy for the second tutor to carry on and pick up without there being any interruption in terms of the learning and path and the likes, right? So that's what we have currently going on. In each week, we are going to have assignments and quizzes. If you can see my screen, there's an example of the assignments. There's also examples of how the quiz will look like. Our thought process is the assignments and the quizzes will not be available to the students only after they have completed the class. So it's after the class, then we believe that maybe the LMS will be able to unlock the quiz for them to be able to have access to and answer them, and also the assignment. So if we have week one, whereby we do the class on a Saturday and Sunday, they have from Monday to Thursday or Friday to do or work on the assignment and the quiz. Based on a mentorship kind of training we're also giving to them, our tutors will be available on Fridays, right, for a period of 20 minutes so that each student can actually get in touch with any one of us and share one-on-one experience, how far they've gone, if there are any challenges, things that they might not want to say in class. They might have a one-on-one with the tutor as a mentor or mentee kind of practice as well. So that will be ongoing. I don't know if Microsoft will allow that, but we're also looking at another software called Calendly, which will enable us to arrange our calendars properly such that we can allocate a timeline of maybe 2 hours. And within that 2 hours, each student will have 30 minutes. So student A can come in there to the Calendly, log in their own time slots. If the next student comes, we'll see that, okay, the first time slot is not available, but the others are available, and they can do all of that aspect together. So we've had this done already. The other aspect in terms of being physically present, we had that talk initially, which we saw it feasible, but based on our working schedules, that might not be possible again. But in the month 3, there's a group collaboration within the students. So we intend to use that month 3 to be around physically. I think either 2 or 3 tutors will be around. So we'll be visiting a local that period so that we can have a physical workshop or a class or a session for that aspect. I think that's basically my presentation. I don't know if there are any questions or comments or feedback. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Comments, feedback?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Bakari, I think I want to find out, how do you want to, I mean, when I look at UI UX, is basically, it comes with a lot of graphics. So how do you want to manage the graphics and the presentations for your 24 students?
Okay, so it's
the time you have given.
It's not really graphical, and I think earlier I did mention that the majority of our teachings will not be theoretical. There'll be more of practical live sessions, right? So your first week, from week 1 to week 2, will be more of introduction into the UI UX, right? And then by the second week, they start to pick out a project of which they want to do. So the project ends up being their portfolio at the end of the day. So for every second week, you're doing a topic that is linked to the project of your choice. And maybe, for instance, we're talking about persona for week 2. At the end of week 2, it means that the student is going to go back and seek questions or quizzes on persona, have a primary assignment on persona, and also his main project, which is what he has picked in week 2, he'll be working on a persona for that project. So as time goes on, they are doing their things as the week or as the course is progressing, so that at the end of the course, they already have a working portfolio, which is what is needed in the industry currently today. So we will be having presentations, PowerPoint presentations and slides when necessary. By the week 3, we'll be doing more of practical, which will be accessing Figma, which is a prototyping tool. We're having Figma prototyping tool. We have draw.io, which is also like a Webflow kind of tool, software tool. And by the way, most of all these, in short, the tools or softwares I've called so far are actually free. So there's no mode of payment that the student needs to make or anything. So largely for UI UX, if you have your laptop and stable internet connection, you're actually very much good. We also don't want to showcase the materials to them early enough so that they will pay attention to the classes, right? In the week 1, in the week 2 as well, we'll be having extra readings. So we'll give links to articles and things that they need to read up on and the likes. And then in those feedback sessions, which is the mentorship one-on-one sessions, they can have the questions that they can ask and everything so that we can monitor each student's progress. And because they're like 24, initially we thought of 10, but since when they are 24, it's still not a big deal. We have 3 tutors, so we'll just probably split them into I don't know, probably 10 each, 7, 8, 9, 10 each person on a Friday. We'll get that done in 2-3 hours and we are done. So that's our own thought process, sir.
What of do you have any possibility of certification?
No, because UI UX is very I would say volatile. There's no specific body that controls UI UX, so to speak, right? So most of the interviews that you will see is based on your knowledge, is based on your case study. And that's why that project that we're saying is more or less like your showcase of what you can do, is your portfolio. And then once you do that, you can actually add more to your portfolio. So for instance, if you have a banking app whereby you want to have, maybe there are 15 features of the banking app, your project can only tell you to, okay, because of the timeline or the 3 months, you can say, okay, do a project that has to do with 3 features, right? And then after that, when you are done, you can always build up on the remaining features on your own and add to your portfolio and the like. So that's how we intend to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
And the industry right now is really not based on certifications. It's more based on your experience, your level of experience, how much you know about user experience, the customer, the pain points, empathy, and all those things, which we'll be teaching them in the course.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I believe I flew a little bit with you, but something very unrelated for both Dr. Ajayi and Dr. Are you a doctor also, Femi Bakari? Because without your beard, you look like a doctor.
No, I'm not a doctor, sir.
All right. For both Mr. Ajayi,
it's your son,
Bakari. Oh, Femi, the same Femi. You've changed.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. The beard
has grown, that's why.
Wonderful. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Lunga, I don't know whether you want to educate me and Dr. Adewale. The 2 programs by Dr. Ajayi and Mr. Bakari, they look like completely remote to me. Why do we need that? So sorry, maybe a little bit out of thing, maybe for the executive, but can't let me think about it. Why do you need that heavy infrastructure on ground? So just educate me, please.
And you're asking about the physical space in terms of at Iloko.
Yes, sir.
Where the number 1 is they will be having sections where they will have to be there in place. That's 1. Number 2, long term, we are building infrastructure for the future. Our goal, we've been talking about that, the chairman has talked about that. This model of this free model may not work long term. We got to have to transition to a much more sustainable model, which would be maybe fee-based model. And we have to create the infrastructure that we can use to market that place as, for instance, the NITDA program. As a trainer, they will need to see that we have physical space. So what we are doing right now is just not just now, but it's more futuristic, projecting down the road what is possible in terms of creating a digital hub. Remember that the Igad mission, yes, digital hub is really the first project we are doing with this project. We are also looking at other things we can do in terms of e-government, training government. So we are creating a infrastructure that is not just now, but will give us a leg up for future development, because we are looking much more global. We're looking more beyond this digital training into much more broad objective based on our Igad mission and vision. So yes, the infrastructure, yes, is to allow those students who are coming in to have a place to go into. Some of them may not have internet at home. We're going to create a space where they can come in that creates innovation mindset. Because you can have all the skills in terms of cybersecurity and UI UX without that mindset in terms of training the soft skills. So the hub will give us a space to provide those soft skills. Like UI UX, you can have a design, but you have to market it. So the hub will provide a space for them to come in, to access the infrastructure, a place we can get power supply is there. They're going to have internet, which you may not have at home. Yes, the instructors will be remote. The students have a chance to come to the hub. There will be space for the hub to come in every morning to come and receive lecture, where they can get good power supply, good internet, and a place where they can collaborate. So yes, the instructors will be virtual. Some of the kids may be virtual, but the hub will provide a space for them to come in as a group to work on projects. That is why we need that infrastructure in terms of the investment, just both short-term and long-term. I hope that answered the question, Saladi to come on. I see that Adewale Sami has his hand up if you want to add anything more.
Okay, please.
Go ahead, Dr. Adewale.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, I think Dr. Longi have already elaborated on some of the points why the infrastructure is very crucial for the success of the program. A lot of what we want to offer in itself, they are not new or unique. For instance, the machine learning program, it's on Coursera. Anybody can get on Coursera and go through those courses on their own. But the major challenge we've seen is the discipline to actually go through those courses. So that's one major thing that that's holding young people back from taking advantage of a lot of information available online. The second thing, soft infrastructure that are very crucial. I personally know a number of people that want to do this, but they don't just have the money for the internet and the consistent source of power for it. The hub, the physical hub, provide the opportunity for that, whereby they could have access to that power, they could have access to that internet. The third component is the interaction and the collaboration, the networking. We have one of the things we're trying to change in Egyptian land is this Yahoo guys, all these negative vibes. And when we pay a little bit close attention to it, we see that they work in groups and they work together in connection. The hub provide alternative physical places that also bring people of like minds together to do their assignments, to do their work, to do the project together, exchange information, in addition to the basic internet and power and ambience that actually foster innovation. These are reasons why the hub becomes very critical component to achieve the goal, in addition to other long-term things that we might want to do in the future. So I don't know if maybe that had a little bit to some of the points raised earlier on it.
Okay, my apologies. But whatever I say today, old Egbon Bakare and the chairman responsible. All they're responsible. Dr. Adewale, I hear you very well. And Dr. Lunga, I hear you very well. But like the chairman said, I'd like us to discuss this more during the executive session. I see the issue of the future that was raised earlier on, and also the model that may become fee paying and things like that. You know, along the line, on a lighter note, somebody organizes kind of training. I come from Ere City, and the team was just supposed to be somewhere in Elisha. And the kids were asking, who pays for transportation to go to Elisha every week? I said, they are giving you free training, free teaching. You are still asking who pays for the transportation. They said they are not going in, they are not giving them money for transport. It became a major issue in the village that wọ́n fún yàn níyàwó ẹni ọyàn ìkéré àbótó, sorry, pardon me, ìyàwó ọ̀fẹ́. So that's a major issue I want us to look at gathering the hub. And this is coming because I look at the infrastructure we are building. I'm quite excited with the presentation of Femi and Ebenezer that we may, after the first 70, we can rapidly expand if we look at a model whereby we resolve the issue of the discipline, we resolve the issue of the infrastructure, which Dr. Alunga and Dr. Adewale, we agree, they are mostly cloud-based now. Now, the issue of the Yahoo, the hub and the group, transportation issue now comes in. How can we get that done in an integrated camp, which may be devoid of the heavy infrastructure we are building now? However, we ask them to come for 2-3 weeks, which bring your own device, BYC and things like that. And then we just provide the internet infrastructure. Because suddenly, I pity my chairman because he has to pay 90% of the 20 million. My chairman has to pay that. The remaining 5%, Egbon Bakare will pay it. The rest of us will contribute the remaining 5%. It's something that I'd like us to look at the executive session. I must thank Mr. Jai and Mr. Bakare. I see a lot of possibilities in rapidly increasing this. And I just leave this on the table. Just this morning, I was watching the Minister of Digital Economy online somewhere, launching something similar in Ikorodu. I don't know how many of you saw that during the week. He launched an AI outfit in Ikorodu. What you are doing, the minister will be very excited about it. And there are jobs readily available right now. So it's something very, very good. So you just to be able to design it in such a way that it is nimble and we're able to rapidly generate a lot of people. There are funding available now at the minister's level, at BOI, and things like that. So great job. Let's just find a way to optimize it. We'll talk more at the executive session about this. But thank you, Femi, and thank you, Ebenezer, Dr. Adewale, Dr. Lunge. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm trying to now manage our time now. We've spent a bit. So I think we're all agreeable. We're quite happy with what we've heard so far. It's a pity we've not heard anything on cybersecurity, but we'll assume it's taking the same shape. So we'll go ahead with the numbers that have been planned, and we'll aim for a January takeoff. We'll look much more closely at the funding area. Saladikon, I can rest assured that this issue of transportation has always turned up from the first meeting as to how do we incentivize people now to go to local to ensure that we don't now use distance and transportation as a disincentive. So it's something we'll just keep on grappling with and seeing the best way forward. The challenge is most people will pay when they see the value. But when they've not seen the value, they're a bit skeptical. So how do we now ensure people see the value and they're able to also try and invest in their own welfare? But we'll take it much more. So let's move on rapidly. So I think we can excuse Mr. Bakari and Dr. Ajayi now. So thank you very much. We'll come back to you.
Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. I can see Professor Lokeri to his on. And Prof, afternoon, sir. Okay, let's move on. The next item, Dr. Adewale, you spoke about infrastructural development. So really, we are just informing us that the partition is going on well, the work is going on well. Flawless. If you notice, I only paid him 70%. So let me know when the work is fully done and certified, so he can get paid the balance of his money. Is there any other infrastructure you want us to discuss?
Okay, thank you, sir. For the flawless, I will send you the memo on Monday, sir.
No, after the job has been done.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, right now it's already at 95%. So I'm going to be at the center again on Monday. After that, I'll be on it. On the infrastructure, the other component it's mostly the ambience, the painting and window, and there are soft things like printing banner that actually make the place like an innovation hub that are very critical, especially since we are doing partitions, different colors and things like that, that I think they are very important to bring out the value of what has already been invested in the place. So this is not something that we discussed in details before. We believe that it's very important to maybe for an approval on that before we move forward on it.
If I can comment, I don't know what Bernard thinks. I would take some of these things you mentioned as part of launching costs. And when we get there, we'll deal with it. So if we want to launch, because I don't think we really want to use the money we've collected now towards those kind of items. We want them to go towards the infrastructure that is necessary for the hub. I don't know what members think about that. Whereas towards the launch, we can talk about banner, painting, and we can really get some additional donation towards launching the hub for January. But to use our existing funds, that is not enough for that. I'm just curious. What do members think about that? Dr. Longe, Mr. Bakari, Laj Bakari.
Chairman, can you please give me 5 minutes? Let me just attend to something here.
Okay,
but please continue. I'm hearing you.
Okay. Dr. Alonga, what are your thoughts on that? I'm just curious because
I have discussed that with Dr. Adewale in terms of managing our resources to prioritize those things that we really need to to take off. This is not a project that can be done in one day. It is hopefully we are hoping that maybe when we launch and we do a good job launching, maybe we can get additional fund. But our fund is very limited. On the issue of paint is something that we need to resolve, but there are things we can do because I've been in education for a long time. The environment, the ecosystem is as important as your furniture and so yes, there is value in us bringing in a little bit of what we call print-rich environment in education, where when students come into the room, they know they are going into cybersecurity. So maybe the issue of painting, I would suggest that that's something, because Dr. Ojo has also raised that issue, given that we have limited fund. We haven't discussed the issue of computer. I mean, somebody said we did not know. The computer infrastructure is key. And that's like a 2.8 million naira investment. Those core areas are where, in terms of priority, that we need to focus our money on. The paint job, yes, if we have additional fund, possibly, but if there are posters we can buy, little thing we can do that will not cost too much money to make the place attractive and to encourage innovative thinking and make it look like a school, that's fine. But the paint may be something, again, depending on what the room looks like, maybe something that we may, looking at our fund, because to me right now, we should be looking at the computer, where the centers where the students can come in and be able to log in and project the stuff online. I will put painting a little bit below in terms of priority. So I'll say, let's look at our funding structures right now. I've asked Sami to provide for us how much we have spent right now. The chairman and Alhaji Bakare might be able to give us a better idea of where we are in terms of our funding, how much we have left in our account, and based on the budget that Sami has provided us, we can see where we are in terms of structures and finance. And then look 3 months, because that will be expense 3 months out. If you spend the money right now and then 2 months later there's no money to pay for NEPA bill, then we are in trouble. So yeah, painting is good, but I will put that lower on our priority. Print materials to make the place look good in terms of creating an ambience, yes. But I would suggest that we look at our funding first, see what our requirements are, and then prioritize them. And then maybe somewhere there, if there's funding left, you can do the paint. But I'll put that lower on the priority list. That'd be my take on that. But that can be discussed once we finish this meeting. And we have excused Dr. Adewale and Okoyemi, that we can take this in under camera as a executive board and take decisions. These are proposals from the executive director that the board will handle based on when you look at what we have financially. That'll be my take, sir.
Okay, thank you. So we'll look at that. Okay, the next item, I think the most crucial one is the equipment procurement. There are 4 items here: computers, budget of 1.8 to 2.6, aeration, that's the fans and AC, then ambience and branding. Again, that's under painting. I think we've discussed that, so that can wait. Then admin chairs and tables. So let's take each one now. On the area of the computers, what's going on there? I think Saladi Komo, you've assisted us in looking at that. I did see some text messages on this area. What's the final conclusion on the issue of the computers?
I believe a good job was done initially, but I think Dr. Adewale said it increased from the initial point of 1.8 to 2.6. When we did it, it was at 1.8, and it was all looking good. But 2.6, I don't know what has changed. I know that he was trying to get some other systems. But let's come back again. I must apologize to all of you that I've been absent for quite a while. And some of my position, they are all based on my experience, which Mr. Lashuri will remember. We created a lot of data centers, 3 mega data centers for a particular project, really massive data centers. And suddenly we discovered that, they were okay for about 2 years. But later on, everything went onto the cloud. And we started asking ourselves, why did we spend millions of dollars doing data centers all over the whole place? I don't know whether I also want to be part of a group, and sometime I started asking myself, why did you do all this when we had this similar experience a while ago? Listening to Mr. Jaya, Mr. Bakari, and also the reason that Dr. Lunge gave us, and also Dr. Diwali, in terms of bringing these guys together. Chairman, would there be accommodation for them? Can we have accommodation for them?
We can discuss all that. Do you get it? I mean, I was going to come to that in terms of what I can offer as a kind of soft landing to make it a bit more interesting. I have accommodation. That's not the problem. I can easily accommodate 75 people. That's not that's in the local.
Why I'm asking, sir?
Yes.
I see the reason on the issue of the Yaoyawu, the group, the induction. Something our children need, either when we are starting the first 1 month, if we can convince our instructors that first 1 month, that orientation, say for 30 days, we bring them in, 30 days we induct them, we change their orientation, and we say you are going on a 90-day program, or probably we do the first 2 weeks as residential, the last 2 weeks as residential. I'm sure some of us will not mind coming to sit down with these kids and say, as you go in, you're going to be monitored for the next, say, 80 days. And you're going to come back for another 10 days, where you're also going to be monitored to see how you performed. And then along the line, we've monitored them. So this money we are spending on some basic infrastructure, I must apologize, but we can then use it for that induction to resolve the issue of discipline and the group kind of things, and create a good future for these guys. Now, direct to your question, and I must apologize to Dr. Diwali. Must we build a very strong infrastructure locally? We need to justify it to ourselves, because everything is cloud-based now. Why are we doing that? I may not have enough reasons. If you don't mind, kindly educate me, please.
Wale, you are muted. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm back. I think you are right that the globe is going cloud. Even job now is cloud-based. People are working away from where they have a centralized workspace. A lot of corporations are doing that. And if you are working in the digital space, you are working in the gig economy, where location and geography is no longer a barrier. It's what matters is the mindset and the skill set. I think the value, I like what you said about orientation mindset, because our issue in Nigeria is not just skill, it's that mindset that needs to be changed. If we can do that, if that's all we can do for those young people in terms of changing their trajectory, that mindset shift they can get these skills anywhere. They don't have to come to the digital hub. They can go online, log into Coursera, do this work, go to LinkedIn and put in their portfolio and they'll get a job. But I think the critical element there is that mindset. And I like the fact that Chama is talking about accommodation. If you can bring them in, the first 2 weeks, like you said. By the way, I've set out like 2 months myself. I'm going to take off from the US and come home in December and be there for the next 2 months to be part of whatever we have to do. I think we need that orientation. The hub, again, the value of the hub, again, is to create a space where we can do that. It is very hard to do mindset shift remotely. But if you bring in resource people who can come in to them and talk to them, and then assign them with mentor, in terms of building your career, building your portfolio, in terms of getting you have to, in these days, in our hey, you don't market yourself, you're supposed to be quiet, don't blow your horn. This new generation, you better make enough noise online in terms of your skill set. Those are things that we can help there at the hub. That is why I would suggest, I know where you are coming from, Mr. Charlie Common. We want to emphasize physical infrastructure, not put much of our money in that. Is create at least a space where they can come in, maybe reduce some of our investment in furniture, but we still have to create an environment where the kids come in there that they can feel they are going into a place that stimulates innovation. Because we're not even thinking only in terms of skills. We're thinking about digital entrepreneurship. People can write software, coding, that they can create their own small business. So it's not just training for work, it's training for digital entrepreneurship. It's part of what we are thinking about. So yeah, we should think about that, maybe at the executive level, really think about that more. Where should we put our money in? Is it in the physical infrastructure or in the soft infrastructure? But there's still a need for us to create a space for these students to come in and get internet. In Nigeria, anybody who has done bank transfer will know that infrastructure is a big problem. You can't get internet to transfer your money. If you are doing Coursera course online, you need a very strong internet infrastructure, which they may not get in their home. So the hub provides a space for them to access one power supply that is regular, internet environment that is good. Even the school that they are coming in, Olasho International School itself, I went there, I was blown away. It's a beautiful place where your mind shift, your ecosystem creates your mindset. If you put them in a place where they can think, they can see beauty, they can see nature, they can collaborate, that is how we can justify investment in infrastructure. But we can discuss that much more broadly at the executive board. Because one of the students asked, would they give them accommodation? One of the students who responded to the admission, I would like to come to a local, but would there be accommodation? If you can do that, that will really do a lot of good in terms of giving them a future they can build. That'd be my point.
Mr. Chairman, can I just say something in response to Sir Ladikomo's point? Actually, when you look at what we have in the local, vis-a-vis the space that has been allocated to us, the infrastructure we are talking about now is just basic. It's just basic. Desk, computers, work tables, and things like that, and then all of the attendant facilities. I am quite happy with maintaining what we have at the infrastructure level, also because of the optics. A digital lab or a digital center needs to have those basic things that are there. They're very basic. I'm sure if you when next you go to Ijeshaland, a visit to our center will let you see the possibilities. As we speak, we have only used maybe 1/3 of the space allocated to us, to house what we're doing. Now, the other question about the 2 weeks, something, as laudable as it may seem, I'm not sure our instructors would have 2 weeks off their job. They are all employed people. We are not paying them. So, but I think if we run a schedule that says, okay, Dr. Ajayi, 3 days, Femi Bakari, 2 days, Christopher, 2 days, Latif Bakari, 1 day. What are we doing when people like us are talking to them? We are talking to them now about what life is and how good life will be if they make these necessary sacrifices. We have made sacrifices, that's why we are where we are. So some kind of talks like that in order to motivate them, to galvanize them for that future, it can happen. I am actually, when we started the digital laboratory in First Bank, we also had this concept. And even those of us who are non-executive directors, we go to the digital lab on Fridays when they are having their stand-up meetings and having their jives and all the, we deliberately took them away from the bank because we didn't want them to be wearing coat and tie as digital people, so that they are not how would I call it out? They are not constrained by some of the regulations. But I will be quite happy that we do a 1 week induction to start, where some of the initial training will be done. The coordinators will be there, but even as a group, the whole 74 of them, as a group, we can get the whole 74 of them to sit together and bond and see themselves as brothers and sisters in a family, in order to jumpstart the program that we have for them. But I know for sure that if we market what we are doing correctly, we will get results. And also the next thing is that we are supposed to run this program at least twice in a year, so that one set goes, we give ourselves another month or so, another set coming, and then we do it like that. So it's continuous exercise. And then as the program gets more, as it gets broadened, we would also be looking at how to get to expand the scope to other areas. In fact, we would also actually could be looking at the basic things, the coding, the SCORM, and all those stuff at low level entry, that we will also be able to get them jobs, create an alumni, just a digital up alumni, such that there will be sustainability, apart from the fact that we would also be looking at sponsors. The federal government's program, the federal government's program on digital, what are they, this one that the Ministry of Communication is doing, we will key into it. Osun State Workatronic, we will key into it. The Workatronic is actually a program that is started by Ijesha Youth Forum, which Osun State government has keyed into. And they said, okay, can you, if you are doing it in Ijesha, we will support you, but can you also replicate it in other areas in Osun State, in all the federal constituencies? So I believe push get to shove. If we put our papers together properly, we will get support. This, our digital hub, will get support from it. We put our papers together properly, we will get international support from all kinds of bodies. But if you want to get support, you need basic infrastructure to show to people that this is what we're doing, even though a lot of it will be done via, cloud is about storage, but a lot of things will be done offline. So that's really, Saladi Komo. If you think I will pay all the money, no, you will pay part of it. You will pay majority, because those of us who are aging, those of us who are aging,
I are in front of me.
All right. Okay. So where are we? You are still on equipment procurement, basic infrastructure. So what's our decision going on that? Or let's just go through all the points. Because there are some areas I wanted to make some comments on that we can have some savings, in all honesty. Because the whole reason of coming to local. Yes.
Yes, sir. Maybe thank you so much for all the contributions so far. I'm just super excited listening. We've thought around this idea of orientation week, whereby so having it fledged out into a 1 week, 2 weeks program, that would be amazing. Changing mindset and creating environment for it. But I wanted to make one quick edit on a comment earlier on, on the computer. The 2.6 million is from the list we got from you, sir. I just added all the content. I think it was actually 2.5 million naira something thousand. That's from it's from the invoice that we got from you, sir.
Yeah, that's entirely common. That was the invoice that you shared with us, I think last week. So that is what we are going with. Remember, we were thinking of buying from the US, but when Samir looked at the number, he said it's better bought in Nigeria. So we are looking at the invoice that you gave us. So if we approve that, if the board approves that, we will just ask you to help us buy those equipments using the invoice you gave us last week.
All right, sir. We look at it. And but Dr. Adewale, we have to handle it. Like I said, with all the apologies, it's been a while since we bought systems, but the guys are all our friends. So we connect Dr. Adewale to them to do the deal. So just choose whoever you want amongst them, and we make the connection. And still find a way for them to still give us a good deal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
And the earlier we do it, the better, before the prices change again.
Yes, they do change. They change.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the first item of computer. Fans and AC. What's the issue there? You have an option of AC or what? In the wiring that they are doing, I hope they're also wiring it for AC.
Cornelius, that's
Dr. Because it's a different cable if it's going to have AC there. Anyway, even that can wait.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, go ahead now. Yes.
Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Yeah, it seems you asked the question, but I didn't hear you clearly, sir.
I said the electrical work that they're doing, it includes wiring the place for AC installation. Can you confirm that? So
I can confirm that it's not included. No.
It's not included. So the issue of AC does not arise then, since the electrical work does not include wiring for AC.
Sorry. Based on what Dr. Alunga has said, and all the Egon Bakari and everybody, that we are trying to create an ambience that a lot of people we like. The fan is going to be a joke. And if you're spending this kind of money on computers, I now go there, you now put a fan. I think it's just the least you can do is air conditioning system, and do it in such a way that those ones that can carry that an inverter can take.
Yes.
An inverter.
I think usually for this type of salary come, I think it's probably better to have 1.5 horsepower split so that at least we can alternate it. Because once it exceeds 1.5, in fact, one is better. If we have many ones, then at least it's okay. And nowadays, LG is doing the, what do they call it, energy saving.
Inverter AC.
Yeah.
No, but it still consumes electricity, but it's 70% energy saving. But if we are buying inverter AC direct, AC that uses inverter, that will cost a arm and a leg for even the 1 horsepower. But it's something we should look at, actually, and I agree with Saladi Komon this.
My first question is that the wiring being done is not inclusive, so we have to go back to that contract. Let's even make sure that the wire can have AC.
Yeah, man, they will have to run separate wire for each.
Yeah.
AC normally doesn't join wire. It's direct from source to point of use.
I agree, but let the guy that is working on it bear all that in mind. So we know the plug for the AC straight away. So we don't start breaking the walls again.
Yeah, I can look into that, sir.
Okay. Okay, so we'll look at ACs down the road. The most important thing is the computer will be set up. But the other ones, okay, we said we'll hold on. Okay, admin tables and chairs. You have a breakdown. What exactly do you want to do there? Dr. Adewale, you're gone?
Well, I'm here, sir. So,
yes.
So
I mean, it's basic furniture for the place anyway. At least you need furniture there.
Yeah.
What do members say? This is basic furniture. At least you must have tables and chairs for the place. Is it possible to give us a floor plan so exactly what you're buying anyway?
I didn't hear that clearly, sir. You said, is it possible to do what, sir?
A floor plan, so we can have an idea of what you're buying. Just says tables, admin chairs, and tables. In relation to the space, how many are you buying? How many tables? How many chairs?
Just two chairs. We don't even have the invoice on the table. I was hoping, I don't know if because I know how expensive table is, and we're looking at our budget. We don't know if there is any official table donated.
You know what? Let's take this offline. I myself, I can loan the hub tables and chairs for you to kick off. Abi?
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
I have tables and chairs.
Thank you, sir.
That's not an issue now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'll give you table and chairs. That's not
that. Thank you very much, sir.
We'll get you going. Okay, so we'll go ahead with the computers. We'll go ahead, rewire the place. Later, we'll get the invoice for the ACs. Let's look at them. And we'll supply tables and chairs. So that will save you your 270. The next item. Now, this issue of power. What's the experience of power? Because we have relatively good power at the school. I'm sure you know that. We've paid for direct power to the school compound, so I'm sure you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I think we have an average of about 20 hours of power supply. So
the whole idea of what we've done with power is that will now enable you, rather than buy your own generator, just have an inverter for the odd 1 or 2 hours that the power is down or something of that nature. And once the school's generator is on, it will give you power anyway.
Yeah. That's a good
one. I don't think power is an issue per se, but it's better to have your own inverter, not too large a facility, just to power your systems, just in case public supply is not there. But on average, you do get like 20 hours a day. And like sometimes, I think last time I was there for a whole week, the power did not go at all. So we paid for that infrastructure.
That's fantastic. The only issue with the father is the costs. is that we can do something that is just to power the computers, something very minimal, maybe a UPS system that can keep the system running, so that rather than invest money on batteries, because when you start buying inverter and batteries, every 2 years you have to replace them. Those things are expensive. So if power is very stable, maybe we just find something that can back up power that we can use to see us through, maybe in the afternoon. Since at night we are not really, because inverter can then be very, very expensive. If you are doing 3 kV, 1.2 million, we don't have that kind of money at all. So if you can find a kind of power backup that we can use just for the computers, that would be what we need for now, and reduce our costs, rather than do a whole inverter system that will cost us 1.2 million naira, which we don't have.
I agree with Dr. Lunge on that. We don't need the inverter system, just a UPS to take care of the computers. A 1 kVA UPS or something like that. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if we can, I think the main concern on that might be getting the systems to be able to power the projector in case there is an ongoing lecture on Zoom and all of that. So we could look into a 1 kVA systems and maybe get more details about that. I can work on that.
Chairman, you see why I said we shouldn't buy the generator? That changes the whole dynamics. So, so that's
there is no need. Even the school had 3 generators we sold to show how much that we are quite happy with the public supply. Unless there's a nationwide shutdown, that's when there's no light in the local. Okay. Well, there's no light in the school. Let's put it like that.
Chairman, sir, before I forget, which we have not discussed, is we are going to have to subscribe to our own Zoom for the lecture. Right now, we are using I'm president of the University here in Florida. We're using their Zoom, but we're going to have to subscribe to his Zoom account from a dollar account. I think it's about we pay about $140 every year to renew. We will try and see if we can get a non-profit account through Zoom. We tried that. We already got one for Microsoft. We'll see if we can get something for non-profit on Zoom, but we definitely have to have some funding for Zoom for the lectures. When the students start, we're going to have to do that really very soon, actually, to subscribe to a Zoom account for Igad that can then be used for meetings and also mainly for the delivery of instruction once school starts in January. So that needs the approval of the board to have that done. Dr. Ojo and I can look into that and see how much it costs, and then we'll pay that subscription from our dollar account here with Bank of America. But that needs to be approved. But that's something we need to do as soon as possible. As soon as lecture starts, they will need the Zoom account to be paying for instruction. We cannot use what we're using right now. We need a dedicated Zoom account for the hub.
Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
I agree.
Okay, let's go. Now, before we elect Dr. Adewale, I wanted who is very familiar with the Starlink internet system? Because what we've done at the school, we've just ordered it and it has been delivered, which will cover the entire campus. The only challenge with it, it faces the satellite. If there's bad weather, it can cut you off. So internet also can be available since it's available for the entire campus. What we had in mind in the school was I can walk around the entire compound and you can just logging in straight. So we've ordered it. The equipment has been delivered. But then who is also very familiar with how the Starlink works. So that if you get on internet, your MTN, it will just be a backup. But we've not tried it, as we are getting it installed from January, we'll have that kind of coverage. Saladicom, are you familiar with the Starlink system?
Yes, I got some people to do a comprehensive analysis for it in some of our projects in some areas. MTN 5G transit.
Really?
Yeah, MTN 5G was far better. Easier to set up, cheaper to run and things like that. And you can deploy it around a whole campus. But since you've gotten it, it's good. But just complement it with
the
so that you have, and they are both good because even for MTN, they too go down once in a while. Just like any system, they go down once in a while. So having a backup is good. But if you hadn't gotten it, I would have said spend more money on MTN 5G. But it's also a good system. It's a good system.
Okay, because like I said, what it does is that the hub can easily feed into this. We paid for the infrastructure, so I think there should be no problem. Also for the hub. Therefore, what you just did is just yours.
Chairman.
Yes,
what
sir.
you should do? What you should do is just bring Elon Musk over there to come and do some training for you. That's the solution. I know where he is, so I can refer you to him.
Yes, so thank you very much, sir.
No, it is still, honestly speaking, just like Saladekon said, it's always good to have a backup when you are dealing with Starlink. It is still at its infancy, so to say. And it's going to come a time when the cloud or all these things might not be an obstruction. It's going to be automatically, rotating and facing the right direction where there's not going to be any issue. But right now, it's still at an infancy stage. We're trying to get 1-2 for my pre-engineering program. But no, those are some of the things that Elon Musk is, SpaceX, actually they're developing that out of their office in Clear Lake, Texas, but.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Like I said, we invested in it because of our location. That when the Starlink came, that's okay. Let's also see, because internet is very important for us as well within the campus, and our current system is also prone to all kinds of issues. I think we already have MTN. Okay, so that's fine. Is there any other thing that you require from? Okay, launching January 3rd.
Before launching, sir.
Yes,
just before launching, we'd like to thank the chairman. You offered us power, you offered us internet. Those are critical issues for this project. You also offered us accommodation in case we want to do those induction orientation for these guys. So please, a big round of applause for that. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Well, okay. Like I said, we all want this thing to be successful. The issue of power, even though we agreed that because we're not costing it, what we also said, and it's better to put on the table. I'm not speaking about you guys paying for power, anything of that nature. Down the road, do you get it? I always believe that people must know the cost of something. Yes. If something is absolutely free, it's a problem. So we are still going to wire it, but for now, do you get it? Since nobody is paying, which we will offer it for free. But at some point in time, as a hub, you must know your power consumption, you must know the cost of a lot of all these issues. Absolutely. Do you get it? Even if it's just memorandum entry, do you get it? And it's part of our own contribution. But
that's right.
You get it? So on paper, they are not paying, but at least at one point, let Dr. Adewale know the cost of a lot of all these issues. But we take a lot of things for granted when you say something is free. It's not free, it might be free to you, but it's a cost to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever we are paying, the capital cost, you just taking that off. Imagine the capital cost, like Dr. Dunga was saying, about getting an inverter, even getting the Starlink. So we are just paying the recurrent costs, which so we still thank you, but we like to know the recurrent costs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Aloge, you are going to comment.
I think the point you just raised, and I know you've been very consistent about that from day one. And I like that. That's why you need to have accountants in a system. Nothing is free. Ultimately, once we finish with this first cohort, it's becoming crystal clear that this free thing is not going to be sustainable. We're going to have to come up with a model that is self-sustaining, that accounts for all the expenses that we are spending. Yes, it may be non-profit. Does not mean you're not breaking even. Nobody has a share to make money on. But it should be a time when all of these costs that you're talking about, we should be able to be recovered from our training. That must be our ultimate goal. I know when you say, let's talk about the beginning of this process, people were, no, it's free. But now that we have gone through this process, we know that free model is not going to work. So I think, Chairman, when we have our general meeting down the road, maybe not this week, because this week looks like it's not going to happen tomorrow, maybe next week, whatever works for everybody, it needs to be made clear to the members that the free model is not going to work, where we are going to use this first cohort as a test of concept. And then we have to change our model to where the hub begins to pay for itself, either by offering services to agencies, maybe through e-governance, all of that. But I like the idea that you always talk about costings. Don't say somebody gave you free, put a cost to it, so the students know how much this cost is costing. If they are going to pay for, because I was looking at AI design on MIT, is $2,400 for a 3-week course. The students need to know how much it's costing. It's not free. Somebody is paying for it. So costing it, and let the kids know that, yes, this cost you are taking for the next 90 days, if you are going to pay for it, it's going to cost you this much money. That way they will value it, and then and it will be very, very important. But I think down the road, we have to look at our model very clearly and say, listen, this pure free model is not going to work. We have to find maybe a blended model, a scholarship type with people who are paying, will be where we're going to go ultimately. Thank you, Chairman. But we appreciate you really done a lot for us. And before you go, so let me just tell you that Dr. Adewale, since he volunteered, that's one thing, he volunteered for this job to be our interim director of executive, and he has done a tremendous amount of work. I've told him that privately when we were talking yesterday, but I think I should let him know before we go into the second session that he's just been a game changer in terms of getting us where we need to be. Again, thank you so much, Chairman, for your leadership. Dr. Adewale, thank you so much for your commitment. And again, I don't know if you know that Okoyemi Joshua is our PA. He's here to take notes, but he's going to be one of the people who will be on the ground to monitor how things are going. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So, Dr. Adewale, I think you're about your students, but on a final note, I hope you are liaising with the school as well. They're going to close in a week's time, and they are going to probably first week in January to sort out all issues like ID cards, security issues, and all that. How do you get access into the campus and things of that nature? Please sit down with them and sort all these things out over the next 1 week. So by the time you are starting in January, all those things are seamless.
All right, sir. I'll do that, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so design the ID card that you use to identify those who are coming to the hub. Okay. Any other issue, Dr. Aloge? I think we've exhausted all the items here. Are we also approving this issue of the official launch on January the 3rd? I think, to me, that's a bit close to January. When is the 1st of January? It's a first and second public holiday. I'm sure you can launch on the 3rd.
Dr. Salah, are you still there? Because that was, that date came up from the Salah. Can you address that issue?
I'm just looking. Let me just check my diary.
What we were looking at was the possibility that launching, so that a lot of people that are in Elisha for or in Ijeshaland for Christmas and New Year, I can participate. But honestly speaking, if we have to take maybe the following week or the week after, is fine. But the disadvantage of taking that the first weekend of January is that a lot of people will just have been returning to their bases. And then for those who are from the US or from Europe, they probably would have just gone, and that's it. So, but it's our choice what we want to do with ourselves.
The 3rd of January is a Wednesday. If I also agree, I mean, once we agree, we are launching, just to note.
Chairman, I think the key there is the key stakeholders, like the chairman, Saturday, Alade Komo. Like I said, I am going to be in Nigeria. I've decided to just for this program, I'm going to get in trouble in the family for taking that long time to be in Nigeria. But I planned that this program is so important for me to take time off. Whatever day is launched is not a problem for me. But I think the key there for the launch is not even launched per se. When you do this kind of project, to generate community support for it, you want to make a lot of noise, not because we want to make noise, but again, to show that what we are doing to get people in to come in from outside. If you guys, you in Nigeria, if you have people who can connect with, who can come in and help us launch it. Launching itself might be a way for us to generate income, like a fundraiser for people to come in. We have the place set up. We have all the kids have to be there to join, and then we can have a big event. Not just for the bet, again, to give it publicity and visibility, and to hopefully bring in, generate income from donors. That is the idea of doing it very early in the year. But if the key people will not be there, like the chairman, Saturday Comer, the key people are not there, then it will not be any need for us to do it. But doing it very early in the year will give us that mass of people. I know people are coming from the US. They are coming for Christmas. They will be there probably the first week before they come back. So if it's done in the first week of the year, before they leave the US, we tell them when you are going, bring a laptop or something, That is why we chose that day. But again, it is if it fits into everybody's calendar. Otherwise, we can always change it.
My initial view is if you are trying to get everybody's calendar done, we'll never pick a date.
Yes.
Yes, and don't tie it also around me. I can speak for myself now. I will not be around that week. I'm out of the country. But that doesn't mean I cannot go ahead. Do you get it? So the key is just for us to pick a date that we believe is when we want to launch. And the question is...
No, but chairman,
yes,
you have to be there. So tell us when you will come back.
The chairman can come back if only the shall is rich. Okay, Salade come can give me a ticket. Nowadays, once you buy your ticket, you don't change it. You don't change it.
Man, you
don't change it. The date of change, the cost of changing the date. I'm traveling. I'm traveling. I'll give you my dates. I'm traveling on the 18th. There's a program I must do at Met Club on 21st. We are still negotiating to change the date for me to go 2 days later. It's proving difficult.
No, Shebi, this my visit. Shebi Nkato Shebi niye. Shebi just to move by 2 days. They gave me another bill of 2.8 million.
That's the problem.
No. Yeah. No. Maya, stick to what I have. Wait.
I want to change my dates just for 2 days. I look at the cost.
No.
Chairman, for us to decide on that date now, so we can start the planning, because that.
Okay. Bimbo,
around
date. No, I think we are tight.
My January is out. Start putting an effort for me physically.
No,
that's my problem.
Okay,
that's
no.
I said.
The whole of January is out. Then you can feel
January, But January is all over the place.
Salary come on. Salary come on because
I'm around until 3rd week of January.
Okay, so yeah. So let's stick to 3rd of January then.
But if our chairman is not going to be there,
your chairman is a figure. Chairman for the issue.
Salade Komo will represent the chairman.
Yes, Salade Komo will for the purpose of this chairman of education.
He will represent the chairman.
Yeah.
Okay, chairman. The other thing chairman is getting us your network. I think we have to extend our network to bring people there. Even if they can't come to donate or support this thing, we need to have a committee to help do all the planning in terms of guest list. Oh, of course, you already said that.
What did I say?
You already said you are going to bring people. You committed you're going to bring people. You're going to use your network to get people to come in and join the make it a lot of noise and make sure people know it's
We will try. We will try.
Can I make an observation if you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
I'm always afraid of launchings. Very, very afraid. I don't know if you looked at most projects that are launched before they get started. On the average, they don't take off. But when you've completed it, and now do like a personal ceremony, or you unveil the project. I think some of us were involved with some of the projects that you've done in Nishaland. The one that you commission, they are a lot more successful than the one you turn the sword. Once you turn that sword, it looks as if some witches. They just make sure that it does not fly.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I understand what you are saying. I mean, I know where you are coming from.
In all honesty, Salade come up. I also, that's why I was a bit more, that's why I fixed my January. This first cohort is, we can see it's funded and we'll find a way to get it done. It's not, can we do a big program at their graduation?
When they are passing out.
When they are passing out. We use that to bring others. We can bring the minister. We bring the minister in to come and grace the occasion because we are celebrating something. Then use that to also fundraise for the next step. So we cannot aim for a big program maybe around that Easter to celebrate this whole set. That has been, because it's sorted.
We have something to show.
We have something to show. You know why I'm saying that? Every other day, I'm getting inundated with all kind of digital hub. Even there is one now, which I since we are all here now, which I was going to bring up. I'm sure you know about him. This University for Technology. What's his name? Doctor. He called me last week, and you won't believe it. The course he's offering is exactly what you are doing, but at university level. And he wanted to partner with my school to get it so that we can be a feeder for his for the program, which I found very, very interesting.
Chairman, if I can come in.
Yes, sir.
That before we forget, one of the things we talk about is creating digital citizens.
Yes.
This digital hub is just, to me, is just icing on the cake. Where we can really have leverage is to start this program from secondary school, to start getting this care. We're going to use your school. We are going to create the curriculum and create that within the Gesha. A lot of the alumni group, Salab and I, we are talking about doing something for Tacoma High School. If we have a good curriculum that's already done, already prepared, is good to go, and we do a test concept, we can become a training center for teachers.
Yeah.
This cause to me, that is where we can really have long-term impact. So yes, the Nigerian go on back, we all do the same business like Jesha. Everybody is selling block because government is now funding digital. But remember that our program targeted this 3 million pay. We'll be talking about this for over a year now. So I think ours is more authentic, and we are not even thinking really just to go training. We are thinking of other areas that we can do, like the school-based IT training would be a big game changer for Ishaland. If once we get this first cohort done, the idea of the launching may not be a big launching. It's for the students who are coming in to have a gathering of people to know that people are investing in them at the beginning of the program. We should still do something.
We can do an induction course as we agreed now. A 1-week induction at the beginning of the program.
What I'm saying is for people come in at the beginning of the program to let them know, do a formal opening of school ceremony or something like that. We may scale it down to where we were thinking before, but I think there's still a need for us to do some kind of mini launching to start the program to kickstart the program. Maybe that's just my thoughts.
So we agree. The question is, what will the format of that launch take? That should we do a much bigger one when we have a successful program? Then we have the basis to bring in the minister, bring in other dignitaries.
Okay.
Because the one at the beginning, sir.
Dr. Alunge, sir.
Yes.
I want
Leo.
What I pay, I want to I cannot probably Molachi will give us statistics. Out of every 10 projects that are launched, you'll be lucky to have census. Molachi, what figure will you put at it? Molachi. Oh, I think you lost him. No, he's online.
He's there.
Hello, Mungbo. Hello, salary come.
If someone launch 10 projects in Nigeria, how many of them normally takes off on the average?
Boya meji. Because problem ni pe tó bá launch ẹ gbogbo owó tó fẹ́ fi ṣe program gan wọ́n á ti ná lórí launching. But in our own case, in our own case, what we might also do, Salade Koma, and I'm going to appeal to you on this. I'm going to appeal to you very seriously on it. We pay Boya Taba Sheni Pe Tawon Moyeba Fe Wole as part of that induction, as part of that 1-week induction program. Let's visit them. I can commit to spending 2 days there. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't mind dates with those kids.
Opening ceremony. Opening ceremony, at least. You understand? If we do that and spend 2 days there, the first day and the second day, it will make a lot of difference. We may also be able to call some Ijesha people, convince Asiwaju tó bá ṣì wà níléṣà pé kó wá bàbá Sàwé á wá Fọlábí Ìgbàrọlá wá màá pe èèyàn bíi mélòó kan I get àwọn ọba kọ̀ọ̀kan wọ́n á wá ṣe to understand me láti kàn make that opening ceremony so àwọn ọmọ yẹn gan á rí pé it's a very grand affair ni wọ́n ń pe àwọn sí. That is a way.
Egbonlati.
Yes.
I will join you for 2 days.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Alunge, if you can join us.
No, he will be there.
I already bought my ticket. So I'm committed.
Let's do the orientation.
Yeah.
It's just 90 days. When we finish the first cohort, we cannot call every other person. But for now, let us go along. Act by the more after Tabati Sheton.
In fact, no, maybe tell you to bá jẹ́ pé táwọn yẹn bá fẹ́ graduate. Tó bá jẹ́ pé fẹ́ graduate, ká pè wọ́n.
Ká ṣe ya pé àwọn people yẹn wà. That way we can now say we spend so. The next court is coming. We need so and so for them. And this you know, to glitch. Kilo you
the jinx.
Program. Jinx. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's broken.
You are broken. I'm afraid that if you do it before, that jinx is just so huge. And you get the figure. I was going to say 3 or 4 out of 10. You said 2. Dr. Alonge is a real thing. Look at anything that is launched. Toba Jet Bridge kan tó wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ náà launch in Nigeria. Tí gbogbo wọn ti wà lẹ̀ kó wọ́n ní ṣe. That's why Dangote ó ti gbé refinery ẹ̀ débi kan káwọn èèyàn tó ṣe wà. But whatever happens, I'm with you.
Okay. So we've agreed a framework. I think it's much better. It's much better. Okay. So we are going ahead. I work towards the third. So Dr. Adewale, that is also approved. And like you said, so I just have more details of what is required.
Okay, sir.
I have more details of what is required. I mean, from our end, let's see how many students, how many people need accommodation, because there's a lot of other logistical issues that we have to look at.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that this week. We're going to get more confirmation. A lot of them have already been asking. I also know our program assistant has also been cramping for accommodation for like 2 weeks.
I'm not giving people permanent accommodation. Please, Jack, I understand. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm not giving anybody permanent accommodation. We want to do a program for 2 days. Not everybody will need it. I will get it. I will get it. You will design. You just said the salary maybe for 2 days. You get everybody is as a group.
Okay.
Although, but you have the impression there is free accommodation for anybody in the local.
That would be asking for too much, really.
That's asking for too much.
Again,
remember that even if I say sorry to sleep, who's going to feed them? You're going to bankrupt yourself, even on feeding and all kind of things.
Chairman, Pastor Obileye, I know he's just joined. I just wanted to know that he just joined. He's a member of the executive board.
Okay.
Pastor Obileye, welcome to the meeting. We are almost done, but at least we welcome you to the meeting.
Okay. So, Dr. Adewale, please look at a program for that launch, and let's see how we can work out for everybody.
Okay, sir.
After this, you said you're in the local, so I mean, salary come out to those. It's not as if I can accommodate 75 people, but the conditions and what we need to do is what is important now. Okay, going back to
Prof.
He's on the move. I saw him briefly. He was on the move.
Yeah. No, I'm here. Very much here. I'm very much here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm kind of, thinking in my head how we are going to utilize this space that have been kindly allocated to us. When we don't use it for these 3 programs, we've all now agreed that the bulk of the time we're going to be accessing the cloud to give the instruction. Even though you said 60-40, but I think it might be closer to 80% of the time not using the physical infrastructure that have been provided. And I'm kind of thinking that we might be looking at a way to use this as first, maybe as a pipeline to develop some literacy among the kids in the area. some kind of way where we can actually use this space instead of having it laying fallow in there unused. If we could arrange something like pre-digital transformation class, or what, I'm just thinking of how we can utilize that space when the others are dealing with the cloud. It just came to my mind really, and it's something that I think we could think about. Either we can use that to do the bread and butter, literacy kind of things, skill development, people coming there maybe twice a week, and even using that as a pipeline towards the advanced program that we have, the security, cybersecurity, AI, and the UI. Again, this is something that I really want us to start thinking about.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think it's well noted. What we're going to use the space for, especially now that we have some basic infrastructure in there. So I think the whole idea is let's keep having suggestions as to what can be done. Much earlier on, Salade can make that point that even when you say you want to have a program, people will not be asking you again, are you going to give them transportation to come to the hub? But again, let's just bear in mind, after we've done this first cohort and it's successful, and people see them, it will be a game changer.
Yes.
It will be a game changer.
Definitely.
So let's just try and hold fire. Because whatever you tell, like I said, even today, I'm always getting all kinds of invitations to all kinds of digital hubs. How many will be successful? Don't know. Those of us that are involved in ODA, I'm sure you know about the one Apollo that Shego and Notu is launching all over. So there are just so many of them. So it's when we've done a successful one, do you get it, that will now give us a branding right. And I say people should now subscribe more to us and we can get better quality support. But that first what is important.
That's key. That's key. And for, like we said before, the certified, we are going to test then. We are not putting, we have not even discussed how to raise funds for the certification.
Okay.
That's the big elephant in the room that we have not touched.
Let's discuss it. Let's discuss it.
If they can go through that program, I think it goes on them to be able to fund the certification. If they decide not to get certification, then they just wasted all the time and all the energy we devote into this. We have to give it as a condition. Finish all this, and you'll be responsible to pay for your certification, and that propel you into the market.
Prof, I agree with you. My biggest challenge is what we have sold to people, because communication is very important. We took that decision that they should have to pay for the certification, but that is not their understanding, unless I'm mistaken. Dr. Adewale, what the people that have applied, what are their expectations?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. At least over the last couple of weeks now, we've not really had any communication on certification. However, I think I've seen an earlier conversation before the registration, whereby conversation has been on everything up to certification level. But over the last couple of months, in terms of recruiting, we've not really had any conversation about certification. What we've thought about is that we're going to provide opportunity whereby we lay out different criteria that somebody have to scale and then create a support system that then get them certified through some of the example that's been given by Salah, Daddy Alaji earlier on in terms of like sponsorship program. We've also think about our own in-house certification, which I've been having conversations with Mr. Femi Bakari as well on. But in terms of whether through the application process or through the shortlisting process, we've not had any communication or about certification for them.
You see, I want others to contribute, because now we are at a crunch point now. without certification, is a certification that can almost guarantee them that they'll get jobs. The whole idea of this program is that we promise after the program there are jobs waiting. Without certification, where are the jobs? I'm saying this because I was in the meeting when the Shagis joining. You know, they were very adamant. Free. Because if not, this is the time now that the fundraising for certification should also commence. And if they are to be involved, it should be a condition of admission. Because my fear is that the 71 that you have now might disappear once you go to them and now say, they have to raise money for certification. That 71 might disappear.
Pastor Bile, yes, since you are you the answer to Pastor Bile? Yes. It's not mentioned.
I mean, what do members think? LAB, Pilero.
The bottom line of this undertaking is certification.
Yes. So the route to certification must be seen upfront.
Yeah, that's correct.
May I?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
May I say?
Please go ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. We can have a two-stage to this, a two-stage approach. The most important thing for these kids will be for us to get them jobs. We can have what you call a mock exam. Mock. I'm not just mock, but I'm school Saturday. Mock, okay. So we have a mock exam, and we say whoever passes, that you now begin to be very serious. Whoever passes the mock exam, we then get monies for certification for them. And the way to get it will then be to go back to number one. You must get them jobs. That means that out of the 70-something, we have organizations that are ready to employ them, or that may employ them if they pass. So let's say company ABC says, okay, I can take 5, 6, 7. We can tell the company, are you able to sponsor? Or if you have 5, 6 companies that say, we are ready to take 50, some of us can now say, okay, look, yeah, if they pass, we have possible 50 slots. That way, we're going to be motivated to give more money to pay for the certification for those people that have passed the mock exam. So our examiners should now set the papers, online papers for them. The people that pass, we now tell those companies. And I can talk to a couple of companies locally. And they say, look, we've trained these people for the past 90 days. They pass this mock. Are you ready to take them? If they say yes, we can then look for people to sponsor them. So that mock guarantees that we are not wasting money for people that may not go and just waste it. Because my issue, like somebody raised, I don't know who raised it. They may just start the program and say, I think it was Dr. Diwali, the issue of discipline, being able to do the course. So out of the 70, who knows, probably 50 will be serious. So if after the 50, 45 passes, then we can raise the money for the mock exam. I'm sure when you see the results, people amongst us on this platform, we can then pay for the other 45. If we get 35 or 40 to pass, then we now push them heavily for them to get those jobs. And I believe with those certifications, it's going to be easier. To add the management training jobs, like I get for Dr. Adewale, what's the degree that these people have, or the basic certificates that they have?
Well, some of them have, majority have BSc or an H or HND. We have about 7% have masters. But the majority, close to 60%, have BSc HND.
What's the age distribution? Any idea of age distribution?
No,
I'm also paying for those pass the mock.
If I can come in, on this mock idea, that was already in our plan. We already told the domain leaders, first and foremost, those students who are not performing, they will not even last in the program. That's why we have a program assistant. Our LMS will monitor their attendance, submission of assignments, and in the first few weeks, those who are not, whose metrics are not up to par will be asked to leave. We don't want to spend money 3 months wasting time on students who do not have so our number might be, again, we have benchmark along the way to weed out students who are not, if they don't show up for 2 or 3 lectures, or they are not turning the assignment in on time, or they are not even showing up for the first orientation. That is where those students who are on the waiting list might be able to replace those who are not there. We are not going to be free for all, do what you like program, because Femi Bakari and all these guys who are making time to teach, their time is precious. We are not going to waste time on students who we know from the get-go will not finish. So we will say, okay, the first 2 weeks of orientation, you must be there physically. They must have skin in the game, to show that you want this program. We're going to have maybe 1 week where you have to be in the local physically to show that you are committed. And then over the weeks, we'll be monitoring their attendance. That's one thing we have not discussed about. We are looking at, we have gotten Microsoft Office 365 as a license for nonprofit to run, but we are still looking for a robust LMS that help us monitor the students' performance, their grading, attendance, and in the first 1 or 2 weeks, our number might go down to 50. I'm a teacher by trade for 44 years, so I know the way this thing works. You can almost say in the first 2 weeks of a program, you will know the completer if you have the right metrics, which we are going to put in place with attendance and performance in terms of finishing classes. I teach in college. The first week of school, students who will not finish the course, you will know. They will not come to class, or they come to class, they will be sleeping, or they will not turn the assignment, they will have an excuse for not doing it. So we are going to weed out some of those students who now think they have a free program to come in and run, and then we can work with them out. Your idea of the mock exam is critical, and the idea of job placement. Even those students who we pay their certification, we will tell them to sign a contract. It's done here in the US. Somebody is training you, they'll give you a loan to do the exam, but you must pay back, either through alumni contribution or, there must be a way for them to be able to find a way to pay back, so it's not totally free. So I like the idea of job placement that is conditional on you passing the tests, and also you yourself make a commitment that, yes, are you going to be able to, on your own, find a way to find sponsors on your own? Go out and say, listen, I've been trained as cybersecurity by this group. Can you, somebody in the family, help me raise some money to certify? If they are very, very serious, they should find a way to do that. And those who need help, then we can find a way. We will not tell them we're going to pay for it, because when you promise they are going to pay for it, they won't do anything. So those are some of the way we are. But I like the idea of job placement conditional on passing the test, and also maybe paying back the money once you get, pay back the way you took from. You can't take and not give back where you took from. So that will work. I like the idea of job placement is very important. so that those who are trained knows that when they finish this program, they're going to get a job. Then they will stay on the training and finish the training for 3 months. Thank you, sir.
If that's the case, can we increase the cohort? Can we start with the 107? Because those are calling backup. Do you get it? It can't be a case of when you've done 2 weeks or 3 weeks that they now turn up. Can we start with the full length? Since we are pretty well sure some will drop off, because we have no other meeting to look at this. And like Dr. Adwale said, they reached 107. It's not sure that the entire 107 are still available to start the program in January.
Yes, that was the thinking, sir. Because from that 107, we consider it a very successful if we have, 10 to 15 from each class on job placement from the ratio we have seen. So, yeah.
So, yes, go ahead, sir.
Chairman, you remember that student loan project?
Yes.
If push comes to shove, we can ask them to help us take care of those fees. And Dr. Alonge said, when they start working, they can now
yes,
over a period of time. And I think they have more than quite a lot of students on that program now. So we can bring that to the table.
This is a perfect program for it, because for all the students, we have their guarantors, we know where they live, so they're not disappearing on us.
That's good.
I can talk to them. Okay. Okay, that's getting sorted then.
Okay.
That's getting sorted. That if they pass, you get it, we can get money. A kind of student loan for them.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll start with the 107. Let's see those who are still available. Okay, so we are getting there. So Dr. Adewale, let's start planning towards the January. From our end, for logistics, let me have an idea of what is required. And let's just think through, even if we bring 100 people to a local, where accommodation is not my problem. How do we feed them, and things of that nature. So the program can only be a couple of days, I guess, before they all go back to their station.
Mm-hmm. We work on the details of the logistics and get back to you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, sir, just to get one thing clearly from our meeting today. I think earlier on when we're talking about the ambience and all the other things, we talk about leaving them until January. I just want to be sure that we have confirmation on that. Is that still the case?
What is that?
To me, if you ask me, because we have to move on, we have to spend our money where it's important. The ambience, all that can wait until when we get to graduation. Look at this. Remember that the first induction program, you can always use the hotel. I have rooms there. Do you get it? So it's not the most important aspect, because we're not bringing visitors. Like Salary said,
okay, sir.
Or am I reading wrong the general mood?
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
I think while we might drop the paint job, we should give the digital team some money, not a lot of money, to buy a few posters that they can put on the wall.
No, that's fine.
Just to create, I think we can postpone the painting, but if they have little money to buy a poster board to create that idea, they are going to digital, they are doing cybersecurity. Maybe pictures of Nigerians in Nigerian IT, maybe Nigerian, whatever it is they want to put there for the ambience. I think we should approve that. The painting we can suspend, but maybe give them maybe what, 25,000, Dr. Adewale. What budget do you think we need for those posters and the little print-rich ambience that you need? That will not be too much. What do you think?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't think it's going to be presentable from what we have on ground. It's going to be a waste. If you put either a banner or things on it as it is now, we will have to paint on the same thing later on. Maybe with pictures, maybe video, maybe that could help. If we are want to use that center based on the amount of investment we have put in, based on everything, without painting, then it's people will even question what it just doesn't bring out the value of what we have already invested in. That's just how, because we are all going to come there and we want to be proud of what we have invested money and what we have done. Yeah, that's, and okay, I wanted to be what we have done. Yeah.
Okay, like I said, let's see the numbers. Let's see the numbers. We know how much we have. Look at it. Let's put together the ones we've approved. Let's see what we have left. Okay, and let's also see what will be the budget for the kind of launching we want to do in January. Does that help?
Yes, that helps. That helps. Well, we don't have
yet. Dr. has spoken about this page. He's the one on the ground. He and I has had a discussion about this painting thing for a long time. And my initial thing to it was that we would try and do the paint just based on what he painted. But if you can find a way to reduce the costs and maybe, you know, if that painting, because based on what he just said, looks to me that it thinks that the painting is a major thing that needs to be there just because it will show our investment. If you have good furniture in the room and the wall doesn't look good, it won't show. Maybe with something we can accommodate, we can tell him to find a way to reduce cost. Maybe we buy the paint and we rent people to do it, you know, on labor-based basis to reduce the cost. But it looks to me that what he's telling us, without the paint, it would be difficult to do anything. So if you don't mind, Chairman, I would suggest that maybe we'll give him some space and find other ways to do it at a much cost-efficient. Maybe you buy the material and then we are able to do the paint for us. Painting, okay. I paint myself. Only in Nigeria people paint. You know, painting is not such, you know, in the US, if, you know, do it yourself because labor is so expensive, people buy paints. You just get, rollerblade and you roll the wall. You know, we're not, you know. So if something can be done like that, you know, with Okoyemi and the people there, you know, even if we engage the students to be part of what they are doing as part of their projects to help verify where they're going to teach, they are going to work. We can get a painter to provide them, we'll buy the paint for them to keep the cost low. But I think that paint is critical based on what he's telling us.
Okay, no problem. I'm looking at it. That's the 560,000 Naira budget that you are looking at, having the 561,000 Naira.
Yeah, the painting is about 200.
Is in there? Okay.
Yeah, look, the painting itself is about 210,000.
No, time is going. I have no problem. Personally, we've heard, but let us first do the key ones and we'll see what is left. Okay? Because if I look at the agenda, we're still coming to financial report. Let's see how much we even have. Abi?
All right, sir.
It's 11:15.
Gentlemen, the chairman has excused me. Thank you so much. God bless you. I really appreciate your jobs. The Lord will bless you. I'm committed by the grace of God when it comes to the exams and also getting the kids' jobs. We work together on that area.
Chairman, so before you leave, sir, Chairman, you leave. You have so to be a major asset in terms of your knowledge of this space. Please let us see you in all the other meetings. We don't have many meetings, but I think your presence today has just been phenomenal in terms of giving us your information, your background, the context. Please, we appreciate you coming today and hope that in previous subsequent meeting you'll be joining us. You've just been really, really great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you I really appreciate all the contributions.
Okay.
Is there any...
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers. Okay, so I can move. So we are agreeable. So let's just see what the numbers look like. Okay. We have some savings since we are not buying an inverter system anyway.
Yes.
So we're okay. Okay. I'm looking at the agenda. Is there any other issue now? I think we've discussed a lot of the issues. Digital launch and academic calendar. Dr. Luga, what comes on that, under the agenda?
That was discussed already. It's just about you know, I mean, Dr. Adewale was talking about doing something in December. Maybe now, based on our discussion now, that we should probably leave that until January, where people come together to do the thing. Yeah. So that might be what we need to change. And maybe 2 or 3 day rotation that we all be there together. The big launch will be the induction program, where we bring people in and then we'll do the rotation with the students. So we can share the December program. And then the proper training will start then on the 8th, the Monday. So maybe the 3rd, from the 3rd, 4th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we can do the rotation. And then the following Monday, they can start class.
Okay. That works. Okay, that works.
We will share the December thing that Sami was planning and just say we start 3rd of January, induction, start of class, and then December, January 8th, we can start class proper. Does that work for you, Dr. Adewale?
That's perfect. It's perfect, sir.
Okay. So we've agreed. So we'll do the formal launching to celebrate this cohort at the end. That works. Yes. And that'll be around Easter, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Financial report and fundraising. I mean, in terms of funding, like I've tried to look at how much we have. In Naira, we have about 6.3 million, and we still have $1 intact. That's going to fund these initial things that we're trying to do, especially if, like I said, I was working with Saladi Common on this school loan thing. If we can get that going as well, it will fund the students for the certification. Then half our work is done. And we can also work towards getting them jobs. Is there another thing that is missing?
No, I think that covers it. We have 6.8.
All that we want. What is important, Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I want us to take a very holistic look at what we're doing so that, because I'm not sure we will be able to get the student loans as easy as Saladi Common had said.
Yes.
Mumbo.
Yeah.
You see, but we may be able to how will I put it now? We may be able to raise a standby loan such that we will then be able to advance it to the students, and then when they get jobs, they pay. Because I know the students' loans scheme will probably need some accreditation. We may also be actually looking at this, our center, small as it is. We may also consider accrediting it with MBTA, this National Board for Technical Education, even now. Because when it's accredited, we would then it would then have the toga of a school. So student loans board, the preliminaries on getting student loans can then be in place. But I think those are things that Dr. Adewale and a number of us can look at offline so that it's not something we need to debate now.
Okay, thank you. My feeling of the student loan that Saladi spoke about, because we worked on the project together some years back on it. in that we had actually gathered some money. It was the implementation, but again, we'll look at all the options, I guess. If that is available, we'll use it. Anywhere, I mean, loan is loan.
Anywhere
we can get the money from.
We can get the money.
The mere fact that, like I said, thank God, the people we are picking, we know them. We know them, and we have their basic information. Okay, so that I don't think we've probably covered all the items on the agenda then. No, go away.
Dr. Adewale, if you can include, because I saw your letter, we need to include somewhere there guarantors, you know.
Oh, yes.
Someone that will sign for them before they come into the program. They need to bring a certified letter or something that we can put on their records, you know, as somebody who's guaranteeing them that they will, number one, they will finish the program. Number two, because what something happens is something is free and there's no ability to do something. We need to let them have something. I always believe having a skin in the game. If something is given for free and you have nothing, doesn't cost you anything, it will not be of value. We have to find a way to have somebody, let them go out in the community to somebody that we can verify who is going to be a guarantor for them. Say, okay, this program is finished, you might get a loan, somebody will guarantee you that will sign the paper on your behalf. You will show that they are responsible themselves. Somewhere in our final letter of admission, that needs to be there because it's not there right now. I don't think it's there now, the one I saw. They need to have somebody who, like a guarantor that will sign their paper that we can keep on file.
Okay.
Dr. Adewale, you pick that?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, we put it as part of the admission confirmation document.
Yes.
They need to provide. Yes.
And then we'll put a value on the training. How much is training worth? So they know it. It should be in that letter that your training for this 3 months is worth this much money. I mean, that will give them a sense of responsibility that, wow, I'm getting something this of value. If it's just you get this thing, there is no value to it, then they will not appreciate it. So we have to put a value that they are signing. Your training for 3 months is going to cost so amount of money that will be paid, but you commit to, number one, complete the program for those 3 months. If you don't complete the program for 3 months, you are liable, something like that, so that those who will not be able to do it, they will themselves serve weed. So it needs to be there in a way in that language. The cost of the program, whether for you for free, if you 1, 2, 3 attend our classes, 2 don't drop out, 3, all of that. So somebody will sign for them, it will be monitorized and will keep that on file. Those who will not finish, they will not submit the fund. They will quit themselves before they commit.
Okay.
Chairman, I'm just throwing that out now. That's just one of those.
No. I totally agree. You know that aligns with my thinking. That aligns with my thinking. People should not just think it is free. They never take it serious. Okay. Okay, sir. Any other business? Any other thing for us to look at?
I will move that.
Because we're in December now. We're only 4 weeks away.
Yes, we have to move fast. Dr. Adewale, let you and I sit down with Okoyemi to start putting this together. We don't have much time, but I think the board has given you a clean slate, and let's get to work. In terms of getting those things, creating databases for the students, put together like a video montage that we can share on the platform for people to know that the money they have given us is being spent. We owe them some kind of feedback, what's being done, and the report that we can share on the platform. If we do have a meeting with video of the students who have been admitted, we have to gear people to donate more money if that's needed.
Okay. Okay. On that note, if there's nothing else, well, it's 11 o'clock here.
Motion for adjournment. I do move.
So general meeting, there's no general meeting for tomorrow. We'll fix a date for it, but let's just give everybody an update on the platform to show them that a lot of work is going on. Okay.
We had Dr. Ojo to announce that, and once Okoyemi, get this thing to us by Monday, the report, okay?
All right, sir.
Put together a nice report we can post on the platform, okay?
All right, sir. All right, sir. Perfect.
Then, Dr. Adewale, I'm busy tomorrow. Let's talk maybe, I don't know it now. Maybe Monday morning.
Okay, sir.
So let me see what else can be done for you from a local there to make life a lot easier. I'm not sure whether the entrance has been dealt with. You know, last time when it was raining, water was going in. These are all things the school needs to do. Not yet. If you don't talk about it, the school will not do it. So let me know what else needs to happen there. Okay.
Okay, sir. Right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Meet with the school but before the school closes, you know.
Yes, so you know, they won't think about you. They want to really push, or most likely push me so I can push them. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Cheers.
All right.
All right, so.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.